a good friend coming by.
That's so right.
Kiana Pollard from, Ranky Tanky, Grammy Award winning. You know, I gotta throw that in there because that's a big accomplishment, especially coming from Charleston. They sing traditional Gullah songs, and they actually put their own little spin in there too. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the meal today. Traditional with my own little spin. Kiana travels a lot, so I know she wants a good down-home, low-country meal, so I'm making her some Gullah Gumbo. Gullah cooking is all about one-pot dishes, but it's gonna start with that traditional base. So I got some celery here that I'm dicing up, got a bell pepper and an onion. And of course, it wouldn't be Gullah without rice. Gullah is a term to describe a distinct group of African Americans living in the low country region of the US. So that's like anywhere from Wilmington, North Carolina, all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida. So the meals in the low country and the meals in like New Orleans have a similarity because, I mean, we have the same roots. It's called the African diaspora. I'm gonna head over to my stove here and make the roux. And a roux is just basically flour and some type of fat. It thickens it up, it gives it flavor, it gives it color. I got about a cup of canola oil. You need an oil with a high smoke point because it burns quickly. And the thing about a roux is you gotta stand by that pot. 1 cup of flour. Break down the oil and the flour. I have my Dutch oven on about a medium-high heat. You gotta brown it. But for a Gullah Gumbo, it's gonna be on the lighter side because I'm not cooking the roux as long, but it's still gonna have lots of flavor. And I'm starting to see that peanut butter color that I'm looking for. And it's just basically that flour is just, browning with the oil. So keep scraping. And if you start to see that it's burning a little too quickly, turn your heat down just a little bit. And we're almost there. All right, I'm gonna add my veggies in now and cook my veggies down with the roux. Look at that. Ooh, what I'd like to do right now is start adding in my spices. A few pinches of salt, black pepper. And because it wouldn't be me if I didn't add my house seasoning, some smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder. All right, so I'm adding a pinch of mace. Mace is almost like nutmeg. It smells like nutmeg, it's very bright. And if you can't find mace, you can always use nutmeg. A pinch of gumbo filet. Gumbo filet is ground sassafras plant. It's a thickener and it's almost like a licoricey flavor, very, very earthy. And you do get subtle hints of like a lemon flavor. I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves in there. Now I'm gonna grab my garlic and tomatoes. And I like to add in my garlic and tomatoes at this point because I don't want to cook out that garlic flavor. I want it to be really pronounced in the gumbo. And tomatoes cook down fairly quickly, so I like to add it in at this point as well. Now for the liquid, 3 cups of seafood stock. So just about this whole box, leave a cup. I'm also adding about 3 cups of chicken stock. And the reason I'm mixing the stocks is because I'm adding smoked turkey and I'm also adding seafood. It wouldn't be Gullah if I didn't. I'm gonna bring this to a rolling boil. I wanna also add smoked turkey wing. My grandmama and them always added some type of smoked meat to help enhance the flavor of whatever stew they're making. Okay, so I'm gonna let this go, uncover, just let it simmer. After an hour, I'm gonna add the lima beans. And then last but not least, I'm gonna throw in some shrimp.
Look at you.
Girl, how you been?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am blessed. Can't complain.
I've been watching you. Like your meals online. Teach me your ways.
There you go, girlfriend. Have a seat.
What are we having here?
I made you Gullah Gumbo.
Ooh.
Instead of putting okra in it, I actually made the okra on the side.
Well, how did you know okra was my favorite?
I did not know that, but now that I did know that, and I made it for you.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. This gumbo is so good. Just like a tomato-based sauce, or?
So the gumbo is actually a roux. So you got the onions, the peppers, the garlic, building layers of flavor. That's what you taste.
Well, I taste it.
And that's what the Gullah people are all about, evoking flavors from what we grew on the land, what we caught in the sea. Shrimp and grits is a staple item in the Low Country, especially at brunch. You can eat it brunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever. We eat shrimp and grits all day long. While my bacon is frying, I'm gonna get started on my grits. I'm using old-fashioned grits, 2 cups. Old-fashioned grits are less processed than quick grits, so it takes a little longer to cook. These are the grits that my grandmother grew up on. She still uses old-fashioned grits. I like quick grits, of course, because if you're in a rush, quick grits can cook within like 5 minutes, but old-fashioned grits take about 20 minutes to cook. And the reason I whisk the grits as I pour it in, because grits lump up very quickly. If you serve a lumpy grit to anybody in the South, your name will be the talk of the town. Once it starts to boil, you'll bring it down to a simmer, and if you don't salt your water now, you'll have some really bland grits at the end. Well, you see me over here getting started on this shrimp and grits.
Yes,
I need your help.
Okay.
Okay, just wash your hands.
You got my help.
You smell it all the way down the street, right?
I know.
Can you help me with the onions?
Teamwork makes the dream
I know
work.
that's right.
It smells so good in here, Kardea. This girl is making my favorite.
I was thinking, where did shrimp and grits come from?
Definitely Charleston, but everybody makes shrimp and grits so different, And I think we all just added our own flavor. You have to have fresh shrimp.
How can you eat shrimp and grits without Charleston shrimp?
Girl, I don't care if you got to go out in the creek all day long. I'm telling you, you need fresh shrimp with shrimp and gravy. Yeah, I think people actually want to take the quick way out, but because I love cooking, I like to take the great way out.
All right.
Yes.
Slow way is the great way.
I think we got enough onions before I start boo-hooing in here, girl.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's enough.
Yes.
This pan is nice and brown, so that's going to give me a good dark gravy. You put that in there?
Yes, I'll go ahead and add that in for you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to make a really good gravy right there. That's actually the biggest key to making it as well.
You got to get that pan nice and dirty.
Yes.
And I need a little bit of flour. Can you stir around the grits for me, too?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Kardea, what kind of grits do you use?
I'm using old-fashioned grits today.
Oh, really?
Using old-fashioned grits, it just holds up a lot better. It's nice and thick.
If the grits is thicker, then I won't need extras.
No, you're right.
I won't need a second help,
Right. Because it'll stick to your bones. That's what my grandma
I used to tell my children, honey, it's going to stick to your gizzard.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Oh, yeah, this is coming along really good. That looks good over there, Kardea.
Yeah, it's coming together.
Okay, look at you.
See, I learned a thing or two. Y'all taught me well.
You did, I'm telling you. It looks really good.
Just gonna cook this down till the onions get a little translucent. And while I do that, can you put a little flour in the shrimp and some salt, pepper, and garlic powder? We like to add flour to our shrimp just to get it a little crispy.
I love brunch. I eat brunch every single day.
And you make a good hefty brunch.
Yes, I do.
You do.
You have some left over for dinner.
Sometimes the oil will cook out of the onions in the skillet. It's okay to add a little bit more. I'm using canola oil. I'm gonna brown the shrimp, and that's where you get the distinguished color of Gullah shrimp.
Did you remember to freeze the ice cubes, the coffee ice cubes? Yeah.
What are we doing with that?
Well, don't worry about that. I just want to make sure that you did it.
Okay, I did it. Stir up the grits for you.
I sure can.
We can't have any lumps in that grits.
That's right.
Add some water to this pot now. That's when the gravy begins.
I love the sound of sizzle.
With Gullah food and low country food, we like to build layers of flavor.
Yes.
So, a lot of our food, it's a process.
You want to take your time on something like this, you know?
I've always just known how to make shrimp and grits Gullah style, but what do you think makes it Gullah?
The brown gravy. Yes.
Try that.
Girl.
Make sure that brown gravy is right.
I love the onion flavor, the garlic in there. I love it. Now, what's going to really set it off is when you add the bacon. Yes.
Take the same bacon that I use to get that bacon grease in the beginning. All those flavors, the bacon, the shrimp, the gravy.
It's going to really boost that taste.
Everything's ready.
Ooh, that looks so good.
I'm ready to eat. Can you cut up some green onions for me?
I sure can. I came hungry.
Okay.
Like very hungry.
I'll give you a good serving.
Please do.
And look how thick and creamy slides right off the spoon.
Oh, Oh, yes. That plate is too cute.
You did good, girlfriend. You hungry?
Do you really have to ask that?
Let's go.
Let's go eat. Can't wait to try this. Party, hey. It's nice and creamy. The seasoning is just perfect. You love it.
My Gullah red rice. So I'm starting off with 1 large white onion that I've diced. I'm dicing 1 bell pepper. Typically, red rice is cooked with some type of smoked meat. I like to use a popular smoked sausage that we use here in Charleston. This smoked sausage is like a kielbasa. It's fully cooked, so it's just gonna add that nice smoky flavor. Right, so I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I'm gonna add my sausage and bell pepper. Get that nice and hot and sauteed. Let that cook up a little bit. I'm gonna get my tomato paste started. Tomato paste is a concentrated form of tomatoes, so it really makes the rice red. And you get that big burst of tomato flavor. The color, the smell, the smoked sausage, oh my goodness. Wanna sprinkle in some sugar, garlic powder, 2 cups of parboiled rice that I've rinsed, got some of that starch off, give it a mix. I'm gonna add a little water on top because as the rice cooks in the oven, it does start to absorb some of that tomato paste, so I wanna make sure that none of the rice on top gets crispy. Oven's preheated to 350. I'm gonna let it cook for about 35 to 40 minutes. All right, I'm just fluffing it at this point. It's still a little bit on the wet side, and that's okay. That's what fluffing is for. And you know, it's basically done, so it wouldn't hurt to taste. Lord have mercy. This tastes like my grandma's house. That is red rice for you. I'm making fried shrimp with my mom's famous French fries, but I'm gonna make the seasoning for my fried shrimp. I call this my Gullah seasoning. I'm using a lot of paprika, almost 4 tablespoons of that for the color, smokiness, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 teaspoons onion powder, a little bit of cayenne, not too spicy, 2 teaspoons garlic powder. You know what? I love garlic powder. Another little teaspoon. White pepper, thyme, and this Gullah seasoning will go great on poultry. I'm adding some basil. You can also use it on your vegetables. It's universal, and that's exactly why I made it. Gullah is a term used to describe the African-American people here in the Low Country. We're a distinct group of African-Americans, and our food definitely speaks to our West African ancestry. And I add a little bit of sugar just to balance out some of that cayenne that I use. A few pinches of salt, a few cracks of pepper. All right, that's done. I'm gonna get started on my dredge. Got a bowl for my wet, got a bowl for my dry. I'm just gonna start with 2 cups of flour in my dry, my Gullah seasoning. I'm just gonna use all of the buttermilk. When you dredge, keep one hand clean, keep one hand messy. Drop it in the buttermilk, drop it in the dredge. I can't wait till Mom gets here. She's the reason why I cook. Before I get started, I wanna check the temp on my oil. You wanna make sure that it's at a temperature between 360 and 375. Be mindful to go one at a time because if you drop it all in at one time, they're gonna clump together, okay? Woo! Music to my ears. Don't overcrowd your pot. Otherwise, it will boil over. Move it around. Make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. And I'm looking for that golden brown color. Not too dark, not too light. That's it. That's the color I'm looking for. That's the firmness I'm looking for. It's ready to come out. And do this fast. Don't hurt yourself, but work quickly. You want a nice, even color. First batch is done. Mommy! Just in time?
Ooh, let me make some fries to go with them shrimps. What you think?
Remember, growing up, you would make the steak fries. I'm here to assist you in my kitchen.
Okay. Well, we got my seasoning.
My mom has washed 2 russet potatoes, cut it up. She's adding the russet potatoes to the bowl with a little bit of that Gullah seasoning. And she's now adding flour to begin tossing. So the flour is gonna give it that nice coating and that crunch we want at the end. Okay.
Okay, you know what? I really, truly need a bag.
This work?
Yes, that'll work.
My mom always used the bag.
Okay, is the oil ready?
The oil's nice and hot.
All right, so I'm just gonna drop them in there and just let them stay in there for about 10 minutes and we should be good to go.
All right, Ma, these look good to you?
Yeah, you can tell because they're like kind of brownish there. They're good, they're good.
They are beautiful.
You know what's good?
What?
Sprinkle a little bit more in this while it's hot on the fries.
Okay, Ma, with the tidbits, Pat's facts for the day.
There you are.
I like it. I'm making something that has been in my family for centuries, and it's called sweet potato pone. Sweet potato pone is something that you will find in the Gullah community as well as the Caribbean. I'm grating my last sweet potato. What I have here is about 6 cups of shredded sweet potatoes. I'm using the fine side of my grater because I want to taste the shreds of the sweet potato, but I don't want it to be like a mash, like when you make sweet potato pie. To this bowl, I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of light brown sugar, about a 1/4 cup of molasses. We're just going to eyeball it. Molasses is going to give it a earthy flavor. 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Whisk it up. This is not overly sweet. It's a minimal amount of sweetness. The sweetness is going to come from the natural sweetness of the sweet potato. I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to crack 3 eggs. I mean, the sweet potato pie, when you make it, of course, you have to add an egg to keep it together. And you do the same thing in a sweet potato pone. This is my great-grandmother's recipe. And my great-grandmother's name was Seraphine Robinson, affectionately known as Nuncy. Why do they call her Nuncy? I have no clue. Just like her husband. His name was Francis Robinson, but everyone called him Snookums. All right, so I whisked together my 3 eggs. I'm gonna add it to my bowl with the sugar and the butter. 1/2 cup of 1/2 and 1/2. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. My great-grandmother Nuncy was known to add the zest of an orange to her sweet potato pone. And that's exactly what I do. All right, that's great. I'm gonna juice 1/2 of this orange. And now I'm gonna add my spices. About a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna really bring out the natural sweetness in the sweet potatoes and the sugars I use. And I'm just gonna grate some fresh nutmeg. And my grandmother uses the same spices in her sweet potato pie. Whisk it on up. Okay, I'm just gonna fold in the shredded sweet potatoes. All right, and fold it in. So I'm gonna put my mixture right into a 9x9 casserole dish here that I've sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. If you've ever had old school Southern bread pudding where it's real dense, that's how this is gonna taste, but it's also gonna have those nice shreds of sweet potato. I'm gonna put some foil on top and bake it for about 40 minutes covered, and then uncover it and bake it for an additional 10 minutes so it gets nice and brown on top. So I've had a bowl that I've had in the freezer pretty much all morning, and I've also had my beaters in there. A cold bowl, cold beaters, you get a really stiff whipped cream, okay? I have 1 cup of cold heavy cream, 2 heavy tablespoons of powdered sugar, and I'm gonna grate some nutmeg in there. Just about a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm gonna whip this up, then fold in the eggnog. All right, last but not least, I'm gonna fold in about 1/3 cup of eggnog. I'm just folding this in gently because I don't wanna lose the volume of my whipped cream. Miss Josephine Robinson, my grandmother, does not like change. So hopefully I can win her over with this whipped cream. Nice and velvety. Make sure I get every drop. Grandma, I hope I did your mother's recipe justice. I've added a little bit of eggnog whipped cream. You tell me how that tastes.
Oh.
It's good, Ma?
Sweet potato pone for everyone.